This is Doofy McButterscotch, and I think we got so caught up in Pink Floyd The Wall that I totally forgot to talk about Bob Hoskins, the actor. So, what do I think of him? Well, I mean, he hasn't really done a whole hell of a lot. I mean, he's just this sort of obese guy. I mean, there's nothing really that unique about him, and he's strangely British, which doesn't show in a lot of his films. He usually plays off an American guy, but I mean, there's really not much to say about him. I mean, he's just kind of there, really. I mean, he's the kind of guy that you walk past when you're like going from point A to point B. Oh, you gotta get some milk from the store, walk past Bob Hoskins, no big deal. I mean, it's not really that unique. I mean, he's just kinda, I mean, you can't really hate him because he hasn't done anything that would make you hate him, and you can't really like him because he hasn't done anything that would make you like him. I mean, he's kind of just, he plays it safe, which is boring. He's just kind of a boring character, so there's not much to say about him. And that's all there is to say. Samuel L. Jackson! Alright, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Well, a lot of people bitch about this movie because it's got Jar Jar Binks. Personally, I didn't really give much of a shit about it. I mean, was he my favorite character ever? No. But, I mean, I didn't fucking want to murder Jar Jar Binks or anything like that, so I guess I'm in the minority. But I don't think he ruined the movie or anything. I thought the movie was really pretty cool. I wish they would have had more scenes with the bad guy, but for some reason I'm forgetting the name of the guy with the double lightsaber. Oh, Darth Maul, of course. Darth Maul, yeah. He didn't really say much, but he was pretty badass, I thought. I thought the plot was pretty good. I mean, it had some real good acting. It introduced Ewan McGregor. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but he's the guy that plays Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I like him as an actor. I'm a big fan of his. I like watching his movies. This has got a real good plot. A lot of people make fun of it, but I mean, when you like compare The Phantom Menace to a lot of other films, it blows them out of the water. I mean, this is a really good film. I mean, it's impossible to make a terrible Star Wars movie. I mean, you'd have to really, really try to make a terrible Star Wars movie. I mean, but I thought this one was pretty cool. I was a little kid when I watched it, so I hadn't really watched. I actually watched this one before I watched the original trilogy, so that might influence my opinion of everything, but I thought it was pretty cool. Jurassic Park, we already did that. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This one's got Count Dooku, and I like that villain quite a bit. He's got that little curved lightsaber. I always thought that was cool. I think when I was a little kid and I watched this, I wish I had like a duplicate lightsaber like that, but I could never really afford to get the Count Dooku lightsaber at Toys R Us. I always liked the Sith. I always sort of side with the bad guys because I think they're cooler than the good guys. And Count Dooku actually gets away with it. He doesn't like meet his end until Episode 3, which isn't in this book because Episode 3 was released after this book came out, so I will not be able to review that movie. But Attack of the Clones, there was a lot going on. There was a tiny little bit of Jar Jar Binks, but not a lot. They introduced the infamous acting of Hayden Christensen, which at the time I didn't really think he was terrible because I was a little kid, so I'm not going to notice that shit. But I looked at a few things on YouTube, like Hayden Christensen's acting skills, and it does look fucking terrible, but I wouldn't have noticed at the time because I was a little kid. Little kids are jolly. They don't pick up on that shit. They just watch Star Wars and think, yay, lasers. lightsaber battles, that sort of shit. But I think it's a decent movie, and it doesn't deserve all the hate it gets, because it's got great special effects, because special isn't even a word. Special. Insert that little P in there and make it a correct word. Yeah, it's good. Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now, the Die Hard series is basically the same shit all over again. It's Bruce Willis being the action hero and that sort of stuff, but personally, out of the whole Die Hard series, I like this one the best, because it starts with such a hilarious bang. I mean, a lot of these Die Hard movies have little laughter stuff involved in them, but yeah, it's like, how do you get the attention of the cop? Throw a body on the car, that sort of stuff. But I think this one has a really hilarious scene where it's got Bruce Willis pretending to be a racist, because Hans Gruber's brother, who is named Simon, tells him, you gotta go in the Bronx and wear a sign that says, now, don't think I'm a racist for saying this. I usually never say the N-word. I am not a racist, but I am going to quote it like it was said. The sign, he had a sign on him that says, I hate niggers, which is a horrible, horrible, horrible plan to do in the Bronx or Harlem or whatever kind of part of town he was in. It was hilarious, and then Samuel L. Jackson decided to help out. And, oh, I never mentioned Sam Jackson as Mace Windu. I thought Mace Windu was like one of the coolest good guys in there, besides Ewan McGregor. I thought he was really awesome. Anyway, back to Die Hard with a Vengeance. And you know what I really hate? They fucked up that racist part in some of the TV versions. Like, you know how they do censorship? Like a girl shows her boobs and then they like blur it out. Well, you know what? They fucked up the racist sign that Bruce Willis had. They changed it from I hate niggers, which provoked a whole bunch of black people, which is hilarious, to a sign that says I hate everyone. And when the black people get all upset about it, it just makes them look like a bunch of fucking pricks. I mean, here's a bunch of black people harassing some guy with a sign that says, I hate everyone. It just fucks up the whole movie, and you don't even want to see the rest of the movie at all, because it fucks everything up. It's so stupid. I mean, you should, like, look it up on the internet, that one scene in the beginning. Infamous censorship. It's fucking stupid as hell. I mean, I get that racism isn't the most, like, liked thing, but when you fuck up a movie and destroy its whole purpose, I mean, that's dumb. That's like going into The Lion King and editing out Mufasa. You might as well not even show the goddamn movie if you're going to be that butthurt about the N-word. I mean, it's so fucking stupid. But the movie itself, without the dumbass censorship, is a really fantastic movie, and I recommend it if you haven't watched it already. And let's see, we're going to run out of time here, so we'll get to the rest of Samuel L. Jackson's movies in the next part. See you later.